Halfway house Monday about 1, I guess, or noon or something. Look at this fine automobile we got. 68 El Camino. Small block. Kind of sounds like we've got some compounding issues here. So he said it always ran really good. Apparently it's out of some sort of, this engine was in some sort of circle track car or something. And he had it, I don't know, he said he put a more mild cam in it and shit. Makes a little bit more vacuum. And he said it always ran really good. And he said one day it backfired real bad and ran like crap ever since. He found that apparently one of the spark plug wires was off, and then nothing but issues, and then he put a different carburetor on there and it still runs like crap. And he said he just kind of set the timing to where it would start, and then he limped it over here. It died on him multiple times. It died about right there, and then about right there, and then he made it here. So you know, it's backfiring, all kinds of shit. So he said he pulled the valve cover. It didn't look like it had any bent valves or bent push rods. So we're gonna go through all that crap. I just briefly checked the firing order, make sure it wasn't that, and it's correct. Anyway, I don't know if I'll have time to mess with it today, but hopefully tomorrow after work. It's a good looking car. It's got vintage air in it and stuff, and 700 R4. Oh, that's another thing. He said he thinks it has a stock stall in it, and he said it's a pretty healthy motor. So I can't remember what gears he said he had in it, but it's got a 700 R4. So he brought me a new converter. I can't remember if it's a 2500 or a 3000 stall. So we're gonna put that in there. I'm gonna try to get this thing running better first. And yeah, it's like a fun project. All right, halfway house. Got a little update on this fine automobile. So like I said, it was, you know, popping and dying and sputtering and shit when he pulled it in. Haven't really found anything definitive. Fucked with the timing a little bit, got it running better. Adjusted the carb a little bit, got it running a little bit better. AC works really well in this. Actually runs and drives pretty good. The steering's tight, the brakes are good, it shifts nice and hard. He had complained about it getting hot when sitting in traffic, and he's like, man, it feels like it's the engine just trying to push through the converter, you know, and it definitely does that. So I guess that's why we're putting a converter in it. He also thinks it's a really low stall, so he's got a B&M 2500 stall that we're putting in it. So just kind of looking at some shit so far, and I don't know if you really like it. Oh god, but it's pretty crusty. I mean, it's not terrible. So I sent him pictures of that, and then some of these are kind of crusty. And then the plugs, nothing real. I dropped that one, as you can see. But, I mean, it seems like the gaps are just all over the place. Definitely running rich. I wouldn't say they're quite fouled, but so anyway, so I sent him the pictures, and he's like, man, I got all that shit sitting here at the house. So yesterday he dropped off some parts. Got some new wires. He said he just had all this shit laying around. Got another cap. Got another cap with the Pertronics flamethrower. And a bunch of other crap like that. And he also wanted to put a phenolic spacer on it, so I said, alright. And it needs longer studs. Those studs that are on that carburetor are barely long enough to reach right now. Looks like this one comes with some, but he bought some longer ones as well. And the gaskets. Well, anyway, there they are. I think that'll work. So anyway, we'll get it figured out. I want to put a timing light on it and just see where it's at. And I'm definitely gonna do a compression test. Like I think I said it in the other video. He told me it was running really good, and one day it backfired and then just never ran right ever since. And he said he kind of pulled the valve covers and eyeballed the valves and shit, but he's like, man, I don't really know. So I'll do a compression test and see what that shows, and then pull the valve covers from there. Do a leak down test too if we have to. So anyway, I'm just killing time, waiting on a call to go lake test this pontoon boat out here. Got the company truck. But yeah, keep y'all updated. Alright, halfway house, 4th of July, Sunday. Happy New Year. Happy 4th. Happy birthday, America. Got this fine El Camino here. Actually runs really good now. Definitely needs an air filter. Got new plugs for it. The correct heat range. These are the ones that are in it are too, heat range is too hot. So we're going to fix that. Kind of like You know, he said it was spitting and sputtering and backfiring and dying on him. Just ran like crap. He barely made it here, limped it in the driveway, and you know, a little bit of carb tuning and a little bit of timing. As you can tell, I advanced it a pretty good amount. I don't have a timing light here, so I'm just kind of doing it by ear, and it's running a lot better. Put these wires on there. Obviously, they're not cleaned up yet. They're way too fucking long. I'm still kind of moving around because it has some straights and some 90s, so I'm dealing with that right now. But I got them all out of the way so I can, you know, drive it down the road. I want to put new terminals on there. What else? Yeah, so I got it running good, and I drove it around, and you know, the hotter it got, the more it wants to drive through the brakes at stop signs and shit. And you know, had a couple backfires here and there, and but it was running pretty good. Yeah, he's like, man, just take your time, drive it, you know, make sure it sits when I get it back. It rained this morning, but I wanted to get that torque converter, that B&M right there. And I'm off tomorrow as well, so I might try to get it done tomorrow. But you know, he's like, take your time. I'm like, no, I want to get this thing done and get it out of here because I don't want it to be another, you know, 67 Belvedere where it's here for a year and didn't really finish it, or you know, no, knock it out, get it out of here. I got that Power Stroke 6-liter and that half-ton second-gen Dodge out of here yesterday, so that was a good day for me. 7 a.m. till, well, I guess I finished that Dodge about 5:30, so got them both done, got paid. Hell yeah. So I'd like to get this thing done and get paid again. I did the right thing, as Derek would say, and bought the best quality one I could find off Amazon for $20. So we're going to try this one out. For 20 bucks, I think it'll do the job just fine. So we'll make sure, because he had concerns it had a bent valve or something, and we'll do a compression test, see what we can come up with. And that's about the story there. I was getting thirsty, so I cracked one. Oh, that's good. Let the car cool off, and I'm going to cool off with another brewski, and then we'll do a compression test, see what we come up with. Damn, this thing's got some compression. 200 PSI. I don't know that I've ever seen 200 PSI out of a small block Chevy. There it is. Alright, compression test is done. All of them were almost exactly 200 PSI, except for 6 and 8 over here. They're both about 180, so still within spec. Nothing to worry about. This thing actually runs really good. Getting ready to put the 43s in and try to tidy up some of this wiring. We'll go for a cruise. Alright, we got her back together. Fuck these wires. These fucking straight ones are about impossible to get on, and they're way too long. Fuck it. I went back to the MSDs. Wanted to fire it up, make sure my timing order, my firing order is all right before I start straighten all these out, and then I'm gonna go for a test drive. Halfway house, 7 a.m. Got the 68 El Camino back on the ground. Got a 700 R4 in it. I just put a 2500 stall in it. I don't think he knew what the stall was that was in it, and it was definitely old, and it was trying to lock up sometimes when it get hot at stop signs and crap like that. So got a B&M 2500 stall in it, and it's actually running much better, but it shifts out of first gear to second gear at like 3 miles an hour. So alright, let's check the adjustment on this, and I'm not an expert on 700 R4s. I've actually never really fucked with one, but like, alright, let's see what we got going on here. And this is what we got going on. So yeah, so it's obviously on the wrong side of the pivot, so it never actually pulls this cable. So got this from Summit for $46 for this fucking thing, but that should fix my issue. So I'm gonna bolt all this crap. Alright, well, the first problem I see is that this is the wrong end for this. Cool. Another problem I see is I don't have a fucking Allen wrench that small. What the fuck is that? So the plan, I think, is if I can slide this down, loosen a little bit and slide this bracket down to get this pivot point, because this was up, if you remember, up like this. So it's on the wrong side of the pivot. So I need this down. So I might have to just eat the $46 bracket. Adjust this to the downside of the pivot so when you hit the throttle, it pulls it, and go from there. So about 42 seconds later, loosen this, flip this bracket around, and make sure you flood the carburetor because you got to check this multiple times. But this seems to be about the max distance I get. You know, it's a little loose here, but I don't know if I can do this one-handed. So wide open throttle, and that's about all the tension it gets. So it might not be perfect, but it's a pretty damn good place to start. So I'm gonna wake up my neighbors and go for a drive and see if it shifts any better. Burn like a kitten. Let her warm up a little bit and we'll go for a drive, see how she shifts. Alright, trip around the block and it's still too loose. It still shifts out of first at about 5 miles an hour, so a little bit better, but not really. So I'm gonna figure out a way to excuse me, tighten this up. And so this has an adjustment here, and I don't know if they all do, but this one has an adjustment where it bolts to the transmission as well. That housing can spin around and then bolt it back down. So I guess I'm going to play with this until, I guess you're supposed to have these to shift around, out of first around 20 miles an hour. So looks like I'm a long way off. So let's get to adjusting and let's get it right. Alright, so I'm going to start here. So this has a button here, and you can adjust where this outer sleeve goes. So I've got it all the way back, which I'm sure isn't correct, but I'm not sure if this bracket's correct or, you know, so I'm just kind of going with what I got. So we're going to start there. Obviously it's got more tension on it than it had. It's kind of, you know, taut already. So let's go for a cruise and see how she shifts. Alright, got the AC on, got her warmed up, tack working. So that's first, still in first. Alright, I got her too tight. I'm going to loop back around and let's get her dialed in. Alright, still shifting pretty late, so let's see if we can do this shit right here. What is this shit? Get this shit out of here. Get out of the way. Oh, another one. Get out of the way. Alright. So from a stop, AC on, in the sun, so the video sucks, but let's see what she does. Normal acceleration or so, you know. Oh, that's it right there. Shifting good. I'm going to loosen up a little more because I'd like to shift again there. There it goes. Okay, we're getting close. Alright, think I got her dialed in pretty good. 2 more clicks on the loose side. Pretty flat road here. Yeah. I don't know, everyone's saying 20 is about where it should shift, but that seems too late for me. Maybe another 2 clicks. I'd like to shift again there. Look at this shit. Not from me, believe it or not. From that fucking neighbor kid over here. He delivers pizzas in a Crown Vic that he beats the ever-living fuck out of, and it's still alive, so that's impressive. Trying to hit this little wiener dog. Around the corner to the halfway house here. Pretty much a junkyard. Junk. Definite junk. Junk. Anyway, we'll do 2 more clicks out and we'll go from there. Whose fucking Ford's this in the driveway? Where'd old Tits McGee go? There we go. That's probably pretty close. Maybe as close as I'm gonna get her. So, go back inside, take a shower, and call this good for now. We'll put some more miles on her and go from there. Alright, maybe the last video of this El Camino. Fucking deer. But I got some groceries. Trying to dial in the timing. I got it pretty close, I think, where it's at. I'm gonna tell him come pick it up, go drive it, and if he wants me to really dial it in, then we'll do that. Back here at the halfway house. Goddamn Ford's in the fucking driveway again. So, anyway, I'm gonna park this thing for the night, and see y'all later. Alright, one more episode of the El Camino. So, I've got a nice fancy Mac timing light there. This is like the one I used to have that I had for years, and it works pretty damn good. The only problem is you don't get RPM. Man, it's really about, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna show good. Anyway, about 18 degrees is what it likes initial, which seems like a lot to me. It seems to like it here. Oh, well, let's go here first. I think it was 36.5 is where it really seemed to sing. Let's start, or was it 34? Well, let's just start here. But I think this thing is running pretty good. It should hot start pretty good. Let's see what kind of temp we got. One cutting here under, well, right at 190. So, yeah, seems to show about what the timing light showed. So, fire's right back up, pretty warm. Let's see what the RPM does drop with the AC on. A 100 or so. We'll put it in gear. So, a couple hundred easy. That looks right over 500-600. Anyway, honestly, this is where I got it last night. I had not touched the timing, so I think we're about where most small blocks of this caliber should be. It seems that the total timing is in by for sure before 2500, which is probably about where you want to be. And I think the total advance is about where you want to be. The idle still seems, the initial at idle, it seems high to me. And honestly, I don't want to loosen the hold down again, but if I advance this distributor another probably 5 degrees, it would probably idle up another 200 RPMs. Like, it's night and day difference. But then once it gets hot, it's hard to start, obviously, because you got too much timing. So, and by idling better, I'm just judging it off RPM solely. So, again, it's been a balancing act, especially without a timing light. So now I'm glad I got some numbers, and I think I'm about where I should be. You know, without playing with weights and springs and shit, you kind of got to go for initial or total or somewhere in between, you know. And I kind of think I got the total where it needs to be, and the initial's a little high, but it starts really well, still idles really well where it's at. So I'm gonna send this guy the bill and hopefully get this thing going. I'm fairly confident he will think this thing is running better than it ever has since that motor's been in it. It ran like absolute dog shit when it came here. It barely drove here. So, you know, hey, if he's like, hey man, I think we got more tuning in it, let's, you know, try again, let's fucking do it. I'm gonna crack a beer and go inside, take a shower, and be inside before the sun sets for once. That's pretty much unheard of around here. So, finish putting this thing back together again, check the oil, check the training fluid, check the diff fluid, and send it on its way. I'll see y'all later. Say goodbye to the El Camino. Looks fine. One of my favorite Chevys. See y'all.